Well, Shaman, I was really struck by how much you learned from your homework experiments of going to that gardening club. Congratulations. That was a great experiment.
Thank you.
So you were saying that next week you want to go back to the same club and you want to talk to more people than you felt able to last time. And when possible, you want to have longer conversations with somebody during the mingling part of the club. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I have an idea of something that might help you feel a little bit more confident about doing this. And it's using imagery to help you practice being confident.
Okay.
And the reason for imagery is that often when we are socially anxious, there's all sorts of images that go through our mind about how we think we come across. Like for you, what are the images that go through your mind when you're socially anxious in a social situation?
I imagine that I'm really sweaty and people can see like I'm sweating through my shirt. Um, I imagine that I'm really awkward, like I'm shaking a lot, and people can tell how nervous I am. And that I imagine that the people are not enjoying the conversation and are just amusing me or thinking that I'm stupid.
Okay. And the trouble with having images like that go through our mind is they're not only unpleasant, they impact how we feel and often impact how we behave. It leads us to either avoid or use our other safety seeking behaviors during an actual interaction. So, in other words, our negative self images have a way of becoming self fulfilling prophecies. But we can practice changing images. And this experiment I call confident imagery because we're going to practice changing your socially anxious self image into a self confident image.
Okay.
So let's give that a try. I'm going to ask you to close your eyes and describe to me the scene of going to the gardening club meetup. First, describe the setting, the room, the people that are there for me, and describe it in present tense like it's happening right now.
Okay. I'm at the gardening club meetup. It's at a beautiful community garden with lots and lots of different vegetables and fruits. And there's a big peach tree. And there's a lot of people there from the neighborhood, especially Joy. She's the head of the Facebook page, and she's the one who organizes the meetup group, and she's very knowledgeable. Um,
Tell me about your attempts at starting conversation with somebody and how you're feeling during that and how it goes for you.
okay, I am. I see someone standing there by themselves. So I go over and I introduce myself, and they seem a little startled. And I try to um, find out more about them and share a little bit about me, but they seem pretty distracted, and not interested in talking to me, and end up leaving the conversation.
And describe to me how you are feeling during the conversation and when she leaves the conversation.
I'm feeling really awkward and nervous, that she's going to reject me, that she's not going to want to talk to me. I feel um, like I'm starting to get a little bit sweaty, um, and having that nervous sweat. Um, and that she thinks that I look really weird and awkward.
And after she leaves, right afterwards, how is it you're feeling?
I feel humiliated. I feel really embarrassed, and I feel stupid.
Okay, you can open your eyes. Thank you, Shaman. That was tough, I know. I'm going to ask you now to try this image again from a self-confident point of view. Self-confident means you believe in yourself. You believe in the constructive attitudes you came up with when you did cognitive restructuring. Self-confident doesn't mean you know for sure how the conversation is going to go, because obviously part of that depends on the other person and you have no control over that. But self-confident means you believe in yourself. And I'm going to ask you to close your eyes again now and imagine that you're going back to this gardening club meetup
Okay.
and start the image again where you see this person and you start a conversation with her.
Okay. I see a woman standing by herself. So I walk up to her and I introduce myself, and she introduces herself back. And I share with her a little bit about my um, experience with gardening and how I'm new to the meetup. And she shares with me how long she's been in the meetup and a part of this community garden. And she asks me what kind of stuff I've grown in the past. And I share with her what I've been growing for the past couple of years. And I tell her how impressed I am with how much she knows and how long she's been growing stuff. And she offers to give me a few tips.
Oh,
Um,
and how are you feeling during this conversation?
I was feeling really nervous at first, but I told myself that um, I'm able to have conversations with people, and people are generally responsive to me. And so when she responds kindly to me, it makes me feel less nervous.
Okay, now keep your eyes closed. I'm going to ask you to try something challenging. Imagine you're still there. This is still the self-confident version of you, still at this gardening club meetup. And you now go up and talk to a different person. And imagine that that other person, for whatever reason, clearly doesn't want to talk to you and ends the conversation abruptly. Describe that image to me and how it goes and feels for you during and afterwards.
Okay, so I'm talking to a new person, a new guy who I saw here the last time. And I introduced myself, but he seemed a little distracted. Um, and he said what his name was, but wasn't really paying attention much to me. And I asked him how long he's been coming to the community garden, and he said that he was sorry. He has to go, but he'll see me later. Um, and I feel a little awkward right now, a little uncomfortable, but I also realized that it probably had nothing to do with me. It's probably something that he had to take care of. He said that he would see me again later, so maybe he'll have a conversation with me later. And then I noticed somebody sitting by themselves, so I'm gonna go walk over to them and introduce myself and see if I can start up a conversation with her.
Wow, congratulations. Open your eyes, please. So tell me, when you contrast the first image you did when you were very socially anxious going to this club and mingling versus the second kind of double image where you had one conversation go very well and another one that ended abruptly and awkwardly. Tell me how you felt with the self-confident image versus the socially anxious image.
Well, I felt more confident with this, with the self confident um, image, and I felt more capable of having a conversation, and I was able to take it less personally, I think. When somebody didn't want to talk to me in the first conversation, I felt really nervous and unsure of myself, and I imagined that this person didn't want to talk to me because of all the bad things I imagine about myself in general. Um, and so it happened in that image. In the second image, it was different because I think I was able to realize that maybe it had nothing to do with me. There was maybe another reason why he didn't want to talk.
Yeah, you didn't take it personally in the second conversation. In the first one, you did personalize it. Okay. And how do you feel about going back now to this meetup and talking to more people and perhaps having longer conversations when possible?
I feel good about it. I think, I might not connect with everybody there, but I might connect with one or two people, and it would be really exciting to get some tips from somebody.
Okay, great. Congratulations. And by the way, you can do this as homework. um, once a day if you want, or before you go to the gardening club, you could spend a few minutes with your eyes closed and just imagine your self-confident self attending this meetup and talking to different people, including an occasional conversation that doesn't go so well. Now, one detail I want to mention when you're practicing this on your own is you're not scripting, you're not imagining all the details of what you're going to say because you have no idea of how the actual conversation will go. You're just more imagining feeling confident in whatever conversation you're in, as well as in starting a conversation or having a conversation end.
Okay, that makes sense.
Okay, very good.